welcome to RBA News Center. I am your host, Tampa RBA, and today we are with the one and only Red Comets. Please welcome
Hey
Red
man, how's it
Comets.
going?
It's going great. How about yourself?
What is up?
Yeah,
Hey man, living it up, man. Can't complain.
yeah. I see you're in your car. That's pretty cool.
What was that? I'm
Yeah,
sorry?
I see you're in your car.
Oh yeah, man. Loving it. Got the best view ever, man.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna get this show on the road. Let's talk about
No,
you a
I
little.
I'm parked off safely. Got myself a nice situated here.
That's good. Let's talk about you a little bit first. How did you find out about the RBA?
Well, same way a lot of these guys who started early did. I was playing RBA one day and one of their scroll things at the bottom said, follow us on Twitter. So I was like, I didn't even know they had a Twitter. So I went on, and one of the first things I saw was he retweeted the Phoenix, the initial guy who started everything, had said, if you're interested in joining the league, DM me. And I was like, oh, I didn't know they had leagues. So I did that, and he was like, well, so I followed him, just kind of, learned a little bit more. And then he was like, hey, you want to play? I'm like, sure. I mean, never really done anything like this before, but it sounds right up my alley. So,
Yeah,
um, yeah, day one, it was a bunch of fun. Glad I could have the chance to join.
yeah. How did you get about the name Red Comets?
So, a lot of people, if you've kind of heard me before, I've got a lot of chickens. And a red comet is a breed of chicken. So, I also coach a youth soccer team in my area. I'm not the most creative guy in the world. I don't know if anybody knows that about me, but so when I have a good name, I stick to it. So when I came up with the name for the soccer team, it was the Comets because it was supposed to be something natural related.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Comets happens to be a breed of chicken, which kind of meshes both things. So when I did my team name for this, I was like, I'm not going to mess with something great. Let's just stick with what I had before.
Alright. Sounds like a great. You said you coached a soccer team, right?
I played for a long time, was all right, and then got the chance to coach, and that was something I really like doing. So, coach, look, they're 10 years old now, I think.
Yeah.
So it's been a blast.
What I've been doing for the past couple years is one of your sworn enemies. I'm actually a soccer referee.
That's pretty sweet, dude. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
bunch of fun. Like refereeing's hard. Like I did
Yeah.
that for a little bit too. Parents can be tough, man.
And coaches. And I have given out one red card before. Sidetracked. How about football? Do you have any football experience?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any football experience?
Yeah, I played in middle school, grades 6, 7, 8. I was the quarterback for our team. That was fun. But I'm short, like,
Yeah.
5'8", so
Same here.
it was never gonna be a long-term thing, no
Yeah.
matter. It was scrawny too, so it wasn't like I could chuck
Yeah.
the ball downfield.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a combination of all that. So
Yeah.
stick to watching.
How about,
Love that.
yeah. Do you have a favorite team?
Oh, Pittsburgh Steelers, man. I'm born and raised Pittsburgh, so um, it was the only choice.
Yeah. I used to have some family that lived in Pittsburgh. My brother's favorite team for a little bit was Pittsburgh, but I live in Tampa,
Yeah,
so
dude.
Tampa.
It's a Yeah, and it's a great place to be, man. A great football town.
Yeah. Except when your quarterback throws the same amount of interceptions as touchdowns in a season.
Yeah, that part's true.
All right, let's get on to your weeks 1 to 3 this season. Uh, your week 1 versus the Red Jackets, opening up the season. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I started hot, man. It was a combination of watching, marching ants on YouTube with just kind of following his style a little bit. Um, but this was a good start for me. I was feeling good. Fast receivers, which I hadn't really had too much in the past, so it was fun. It was a fun start.
Yep. And that week 3 against the Saviors. Mm.
Oh man, I'll be honest, I don't get too many scores in the 60s. So for me to put up a 62 and the defense keeping it under 10 was like, boy, this must be what those top guys feel all the time. And I was
Yeah.
like, I got to get this more because this is awesome.
Yeah. Moving on to week 4 to 6, you had another 62 to 6 game against Tide.
I know, man. I'm telling you, this is all pre-update for me, but
Uh,
I was really hitting the groove. Like you can see week 5 was a little bit of a tough one for me, but to bounce back at 62 to 6 for the second time in that span was
mhm.
a confidence booster for sure.
Now we're moving on to post update, and I believe your first game was against the Colonels, or is this still pre-update stuff?
Week 7 was pre-update, and then 7 and 8 were post-update. So, although if it makes me feel better, I'll say 7 was pre or post-update, so that the 40 to 20 doesn't look as bad on my score sheet.
Yeah. But still, these post-update scores, from what I've been hearing, are still really good.
Yeah, yeah, and then it's getting used to the update and how things are and getting
Yeah.
there though.
Moving on to week 10 through 12, you had your bye week in week 10, which I don't know how you felt about that.
It hurt my standings obviously because I feel like a lot of people had that bye week before week 10.
Hmm.
I was 11th in the standings. Coming out of week 12, I'm like 17th, 16th, somewhere in there.
Hmm.
So it hurt a little bit, but it was bound to happen. So
Yeah, for every team it is. But
yeah.
that week 12, 48 to 17.
Yeah, I like that one. My defense gave up some points early, which, it's never a good feeling, but they bounced back and my offense was able to hold them in and
Hmm.
get some good points out of it.
Yep. Now we're going to talk about some stuff, how you play. That's what the ways around the league is segment is. So, do you play left to right, right to left, both ways?
Yeah, I mean I'm a righty, so I gotta go the way of all the normal people. Can't be switching both, can't be going the other way.
Yeah,
It's the one way only for this guy.
yeah. Do you, when you're passing, do you try to pass to the sides and then get out of bounds?
Yeah, I do a lot of that. I didn't do that as much before, and I didn't realize how much clock that took up whenever you stayed in bounds a lot. So I kind of, N's first couple videos were really eye-opening for me, I think. It was like, wow, he saves a lot of time. I'm not afraid to go over the middle when the situation calls for it, but definitely kind of adjusted that way, especially after the update. Whenever you've got, your guys slow in the third, fourth quarter, you gotta get out of bounds to save the
Yeah.
time.
Do you run at all?
No, I did. Like the only time I'll run is when I'm in time killing mode. Like at the end of the half when I don't want the other team to get the ball back, I'll run it a couple times
Hmm.
because it's usually a little bit safer. Otherwise, I'm not too much of a runner.
Yeah. When you're playing, how many wide receivers do you have?
I've got two. The one, neither of them are really like prime time receivers. The one's a little bit more. He's got the speed and a decent amount of stamina, but my other guy, um, Daryl, he he's not the fastest guy in town, but he's he's got the hands at the
Mhm.
time. He's a good catcher.
Talking about wide receivers, there's more than just them that go out to pass. You have the tight end and the running back. How do those two positions stack up on your team?
One tight end, Gene the Machine, as I like to call him. I like so like man, he's so good at like the busting tackles. Um, and you get tight ends open on some of those like quick routes when the blitz is coming, make some nice easy gains. Um, I did have a running back, Elmer, but unfortunately, cap space and due to some other roster moves I had to do, had to ship him out. So I hope he's doing well wherever he is in my RBA league. But yep, going two receivers, one quarterback, one tight end.
How's your quarterback doing?
My quarterback's great. I actually traded halfway through the year um, because he was getting expensive. He was on his last year of his deal at 40 million, and I didn't have the cap space, so I had to make a move.
Hmm.
Week 8, which is the last week you can trade, traded him out of town. Hope he's doing well,
Yeah,
and brought a new quarterback in.
yeah. That's what I did in year six. It's season six. It actually helped me a lot. Yeah. How about your defense? We're just gonna.
If especially if you keep him for a long time.
Yeah. How about your defense? How are they stacking up? Defense. How is your defense stacking up?
Defense, yeah, my defense is I've got a 2-2-2 this year. Two linemen, two linebacker, and the two defensive back. Though I think the one lineman is going to retire, so
Yeah.
that'll be a position I got to strengthen up here this offseason.
Yeah. With the new update that came out,
Yeah.
now that we're able to track swiping and you now have a extra s- roster size, how are you feeling about that?
Um, Pretty good. I think I think the update's kind of getting a little. We just gotta feel our way out of it. I like the 12-man roster. I like you can have backups. I like harder. That's fun. I like the restart thing. That's fun. I think we're seeing some scores coming back down to earth here. Um, so yeah, stamina thing could be worked out maybe, but hey, man, everybody's playing with the same thing. So
Yep.
in that regard, I'm good with it.
All right. How are you feeling about your position in the standings?
This is the best season I've ever put together, so I'm feeling good. Uh, Especially now, you know, the standings haven't come out for weeks 13 through 15. And let me just give you a little preview. I did pretty well. So I'm feeling myself in that I think this will be the best season I put together. Will it be enough for the playoffs? Yeah, well, we'll see. Well, um, but I'm confident. And it's nice to not hang in the relegation zone for years. Loving.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I believe that's all we've had planned. Do you have any final comments?
No, not really. I appreciate everything you do, and sorry for some of the technical stuff on my end during this, but loved having you as our captain in the Premier League. You set the bar pretty high, and I know you're doing great here. So,
Yeah.
man, love it.
All right. I loved having you here. I hope we can have you again in an interview in a couple months, maybe. I don't know, but it was a pleasure
Yeah, for
having you
sure.
here.
I'll be sure to get it on my computer. It'll be a little.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming along, and that is all. Tampa RBA is signing out. Have a good one.